Well, this is a rather odd one for me. This is arguably the biggest quote-unquote new-gen anime-manga matchup around right now. It's what people wanted before and after Gojo vs Makima, and with both characters' main stories down, this is the right time for it. It's a matchup that represents two of the biggest names in modern anime and manga. Haven't read either manga, I have no connection to these characters, something recurring viewers should be well aware of. Also, I'm feeling a bit under the weather right now, but I'm finally cleared up enough to actually record this, and I know from the way my body works that within a couple hours I'm going to then decline back into feeling even shitter than I did earlier today, so I might as well get it recorded then, instead of making you wait like a full week before the review's out. Anyway, so keep in mind my opinions of this video come from a perspective of no familiarity, so do politely let me know if I get any details wrong about either character or series, and I hope you can understand a bit better where I'm coming from with just this prelude. Now, I thought Yuji vs Denji was quite solid. I liked the fight, I'm pleased with the conclusion, didn't have any of the issues I have been having with them this year, and the analyses were entertaining if nothing else. Yuji's analysis was solid. I like the balance of story and versus stuff, though in both analyses there's no calc for AP, and I always find that a bit cheap. Like, I get it, they don't want you to immediately know who's going to win based on the analysis, but then, not only have I noticed that there are a lot of, like, reactioners and people I've met and I know in person, close friends of mine, who will watch an analysis with full numbers and still not know who's going to win. I had a friend that I made watch my Mockbuster Battle Royale, and he thought Metal Man would win, and that Captain Battle would be second last place instead of last. Some people just like that, and there's no shade on them. But also, I think like the conclusion having the category system now and for the last year and a bit implies that strength alone would not be enough to win. So even if a character has like a 1 billion times strength advantage marker, that still isn't usually treated as the pure deciding factor anymore. It really gives no excuse not to give the numbers in the analysis to make it actually feasible for a person to guess the winner based off of what's said. Still, I think this did an alright job of making me at least a little interested in Yuji's conflict with Sukuna and all that. The editing's solid, the pacing seems fine to me, and the build-up of abilities to the domain expansion I think just worked naturally. In terms of issues, I guess them referring to cursed energy as evil key made me roll my eyes. Of course it needs to be a Dragon Ball comparison. Come on guys, you know most JJK fans have actually watched their show, while most Dragon Ball fans have only watched the abridged version and Super. Actually, looking at Twitter, I don't know if most JJK fans have actually watched their show either. It's a shitstorm over there right now. I'm also getting a bit sick of the dramatic thwoosh and bang sounds with every single title card for characters. It's not this episode's fault, but they happen every episode now. I've just grown tired of name drop this character with the exact same inflection for every other character that gets one of these, and then boom, bang, wham, look at their name flash on screen for 2 microseconds. I also don't like how fast this little edit is for Yuji's fighting style, because they mention his combat is based around agility and such, but the one shot they show for a notable amount of time has him just in one spot barely moving. So all these quick edits of shots where you barely have any time to see what's going on kind of makes it seem like they're hiding that he's not actually fighting like that ever. I don't know if that's true, it's just the way it came across to me. These aren't particularly big problems though, I don't think they hold the analysis back from being solid, they're small issues. Denji's analysis I liked a little bit more. For one thing, I love the build up to Chainsaw Man with the revving sound leading into the chainsaw going off and kicking the music in. And I just felt like I was more invested in the twists and turns of Denji's story, and I thought the ending was really interesting. The whole idea of like Denji loses the thing that defined him as a character, but in doing so, that let him actually get to live a real life. It kind of comes across like there's this idea of having one thing that defines you is not the way you should be living your life, and letting go of that is kind of what allows Denji to live his life by building a person that he is, as opposed to basing himself around this one thing. Of course, I don't know Chainsaw Man, that could be completely against the whole point of the theme, that's just the implication I got. Issue-wise, I guess I don't like that Boomster doesn't go full season 1 to 3 over the sickness of the Chainsaw Man. He's all chainsaws. Have you seen how into chainsaws he is? Have you seen his the Doom Guy analysis from season 1? He's just so excited, that whole analysis.
And when things get tight, his chainsaw will rip and tear through anybody. No, not the chainsaw. Yes, the chainsaw. It's the king of cannons, the doomsday bazooka that lays waste to everything. It's the big fucking gun 9000!
But the BFG is not Doom Guy's deadliest weapon.
Yes, more! Gimme!
But
Think of it kinda like a laser pointer that points things into oblivion!
God, I used to love this character. I used to love this host. But is it really that big of an issue to say it didn't do something unimportant and unnecessary that I would have personally liked to see? Nah, not really, I don't think that's a major issue. Both analyses I note have great bookends. Yuji starts with how he's strong, and then it ends explaining what being the strongest means to him, and then repeating the he's strong line with that new context. Denji starts with how life sucks then you die, and they bring that around back at the end when he gets a new life, and now they talk about how between those 2 points you have to find what makes life worth living. So yes, life sucked, he died, then life sucked and he died again, but this time, when he has his third shot, I guess, based on what they imply, life sucks, but there's a reason to live before dying. Which I think that's a pretty neat little wraparound for both analyses. I think they were solid. I don't know either character well enough, as mentioned, so they could have gone something egregiously wrong somewhere. Maybe this character's name isn't even Yuji. Maybe his name's Bill. The fight, meanwhile, it's good. There's actual melee choreography this time, which I love seeing. The animation is great, even if, as I've mentioned before, I'm not the biggest fan of the choppy, low frame rate style, and the voice actors give their performances plenty of bite. I like this guy's cameo as a corpse, whoever that is, not like I've ever talked to him before. Hi, Rena.
Leave me alone, I'm busy.
But screw this guy, we have this guy, my boy Funky Kong, along with some Devil May Cry and Kagurabachi elements, I think. That said, all these people fucking vanished in the next shot, so who knows if they were ever even real. I really like the first clash between them, the banter is fun, Denji exudes Travis Touchdown energy, and I mean like first No More Heroes Travis Touchdown energy, where it's like 50% derogatory, and then he gets kicked in the head. I don't like how there's no shadow under Yuji here though, like, most of this looks fantastic, and this shot looks weird because I can't really tell if he's touching the ground or floating above it without a shadow. Denji bullshitting his way into a free nut shot is amusing. I like seeing him using the face saw as a weapon and drinking blood, then slapping Yuji with his own arm. Should have used the bloody stump though, that would have been funny to me. I got love the sign established in Oregon foreshadowing Yuji being too weak, as his floppy body is not strong enough to actually break the sign. Only this flimsy little connector and the letters UN. That's fun. Can't believe Yuji destroyed the UN. What the fuck's this date for though? The delay punch is really cool with the effects and all that, and him forcing Denji's transformation as a natural result of this attack is really cool. They have a great display of the speed difference, and an overall unique, if nothing else, display of speed, with Yuji just popping out of existence and the shockwave coming in after a notable delay. And some panning through buildings that I picked up from Denji's analysis is of course a direct reference to something. I love this shot of Yuji getting ragdolled, that looks great. Also, throughout the fight, it's really cool how they emphasize Denji's regeneration. It might seem weird to comment on how they emphasize it, but I'll note that other characters with incredible regen don't always get to show it. All 3 of Hulk's episodes, but most damningly the latter 2 where he has the green door, don't show off his regen much. Hulk regenerates from like one particularly noteworthy wound against Broly, and against Godzilla we only get it conveyed via punching a door. In fact, just looking at last year, Azura's insane regeneration is only shown once when he loses his arms and transforms. But that makes it seem more like it was an effect of the transformation over his just insane regen. Spawn's regen that actively won him the fight in the conclusion literally isn't in the fight, unless you take the continuity error where Divine Spawn's wings come back between shots and just assume that's regen. Meanwhile, ironically, Ghost Rider, who they positioned as so strong that Spawn couldn't injure him and would have to rely on hacks to actually get anything done, regenerates 4 times across the fight, though one of those is also a transformation like Azura. Fun fact, Spawn did not erase himself from existence with that lance. They actually show the panel briefly that explains he was simply moved and banished to a different reality, and that's where he recovered from. So he didn't rewrite reality after dying, he rewrote reality after being sent away. Anyway, Simone's insane regeneration never comes into play, Wily and Tom don't do any damage that would require them to regen, and that's just looking at the characters with insane regeneration and not dying well from last year, not even characters like Dante and Clive, who have strong regen, just not to that kind of absurd can come back from being turned to nothing degree. Only Godzilla, Mahito, and charitably Ghost Rider came back from grievous wounds last year. So I give major props to how consistently they play into Denji's ridiculous survivability and tenacity. With Yuji slicing him up and Denji just kind of coming back fine from whatever Yuji tries, it actually really works into their conclusion, but I'll get back to that point later. The Black Flash is really sudden, but I think it has suitable impact for what it's meant to be, and the domain expansion fake out is quite fun. They really animate it like it was a major moment, only to have it be just another bluff from Denji. I do think it's a little strange that Yuji would hear the words domain expansion and that would make his guard drop, but I'm pretty sure what's supposed to be going on here is that Denji just got sick of Yuji finessing him by dodging all of his attacks and blowing his limbs off. So instead of just trying again, he says something specifically to put Yuji on his guard and to observe what's going on, and he has a brief window while Yuji's brain is switching from dodge everything to, what did he just say, to speed blitz in to get another attack off. going for a nut shot specifically to stun him for a moment and deliver the far more devastating chainsaw to the shoulder. I think that's pretty cool and clever. Yuji himself has only delivered 3 attacks since domain expanding, 2 of which were to prevent Denji from cutting him up when he goes for his 3rd attack, a Black Flash. That's pretty smart too. I like him limiting Denji's options so he can go for his own big attack without worrying as much about being sliced up. Yuji gets this raw-ass moment of stopping the chainsaw with his bare hand, shattering its teeth, pulling it out of his body, and showing his regen too, which doesn't happen as much, which is fair, and then hitting a Black Flash into his big finisher move. This is the highlight of the fight to me. This is the coolest thing in the whole thing in my eyes. That's just so cool. This all then leads to a solid clash that has a very well done abrupt ending, because it's timed perfectly abrupt enough that it doesn't have any long build up making you go, oh yeah, X is absolutely going to win based on the scene alone. Yet it's also built up enough to not feel like an, oh okay, I guess it's over now, because of the time delay between the slow-mo final blow and the explosive end. Like yeah, Denji just no-sold Shrine, but Yuji went straight into a Black Flash spam combo that does feel like it could be a winning move for him. Like this ending is perfectly done in a way that I believe an alternate ending would be exactly the same, except instead of Yuji being cut in half, Denji would explode and be like, shredded apart or some shit like that. Yuji gets a funny little remark, Denji pays his respects, and then fucks off to get a bite. Throughout this whole fight, they do a great job playing into the results of their conclusion, and to be extra clear, for those in the back, their conclusion, and not whatever you might think is the correct outcome or stat line for either character. They do a great job in representing their conclusion. That is that Denji is portrayed as significantly faster once shit gets real, blitzing Yuji and being a relentless force that immediately bodies Yuji into busting out a domain expansion, and even then getting by on raw speed once he's in the, I don't know what the actual place is called, I guess the domain. Yuji is shown as the far better fighter, winning their initial clash, keeping Denji at bay later, and landing significantly more blows in the final clash. In fact, during the Black Flash spam, Denji doesn't land a single hit, even though he goes for 2 attacks. But the one blow he does land when they go for the final attack immediately wins in the fight, showing off his superior raw strength. And his bluffs showing off his battle tactics whenever just wild swinging at brute force aren't winning him the day. He only wins in the end because he lasts long enough for Yuji to run out of options and go for a bum rush that plays into Denji's strengths more than Yuji's. The way they explain the cuttability of the two and how that compares is greatly shown as well in the fight. That is, Yuji has far better cutting power, but Denji has better regen, meaning that Denji will get cut up more, but he can afford to recover, while Yuji will be cut up less, but when he does get cut, it's going to be more important. And in the end, that does end up winning Denji the day along with his strength and speed. I think that's well done. As for what I don't like about the fight, you might be able to tell just from what I left out. The domain expansion feels really weak. I wasn't expecting it to live up to the ridiculous aura of Mahito and Gojo, but this is just kind of incidental and feels kind of lackluster. Denji refusing with the dog off screen has more impact, and I wasn't really sure what exactly it did to help Yuji out. Is it literally that just now he can cut Denji from a distance instead of having to stay up close? I think that's all it is. Also, I know this is a Maharaga reference, but I haven't seen the show. I don't know what's going on here, really. I want to say that Denji is regenerating through Shrine, but the problem is there's no blood at all. I don't see any cutting actually happening. I don't have context from the original scene. I heard Maharaga's whole bit was adaptation, so I assume whenever people posted this gif, it was some bullshit attack he was adapted to, not him regenerating. It doesn't look like regen. Also, the way they describe Shrine makes it come across as if it's instantaneous, so I didn't realize this is what Shrine looks like. I think what doesn't help either is that they portray Denji's regeneration very consistently throughout this fight. But in this moment, he goes from the guy who can regrow limbs and reattach his body parts after a delay, to someone whose regen is so insane that he can be cut into little squares and his wounds will heal before they even finish cutting through him. Like, he went from Deadpool speed regen to Devil May Cry 3 Virgil speed regen. Though I imagine this was completely legible to people who like fucking know these characters, so this is just a me problem. It doesn't register to me specifically. Also, while the final clash is great, before that, it's hard not to acknowledge the Black Flash stand rush kind of looks underwhelming. Denji's reaction is only a slight step up from Khan's nose cell against Oni. Maybe it's just the weak sound design and the fact that it looks like Yuji punches the fucking chainsaw a few times too. The whole combo still looks sick overall, like the swing into the dodge, into the backflip, into the rider kick, into the tiger drop is smooth as hell, and I fucking love how the camera moves around during it, so it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, this is probably a Metal Gear Rising Revengeance moment, but if this is supposed to play into Denji just no-selling the attack, not only does it feel like this makes Yuji come across as particularly weak, I don't know, it just doesn't scan to me. Also, Denji regrows his arm off-screen, which given he has been very consistently shown regenerating on-screen all fight, makes this seem more like a continuity error, as opposed to, oh, he just regenerated between shots. Especially because we saw it portrayed earlier, he has a very gradual regen of his arm and then the full arm around it. I guess a moment ago he just switched to full-on fucking Ryuko level instantaneous regen. You gotta cut from both sides to actually do anything, but still. I also have to question that while they do a great job conveying the conclusion, they also mentioned that Denji's regen is limited to how much blood he can drink, and he doesn't drink any blood past the opening clash. I kind of wish that either they had him get some blood from Yuji during the domain expansion, even if it was just drinking up what was gushing out when he starts soaring into Yuji, or licking the blood off of his unusually bloodless chainsaw. That, or playing into how the domain expansion left Denji with limited sources of blood other than Yuji himself, and have his regeneration start to fail. Like, fit in a scene somewhere where he tries to regrow his other arm, but he doesn't have the blood to after using all of his blood to tank Shrine. That would go multiple ways, both to making Shrine feel like it did fucking anything whatsoever, and making the finale even more tense by really getting across that Denji is finally down to the point where his regen is at its limit and Yuji might actually be able to kill him for good. That would also make Yuji decide to go into a full bum rush a lot more viable, coming across as if he went, oh, this guy's regen is now at its limit, I just need to hit him enough and eventually he will finally go down. Relatively though, I think these issues are very small in comparison to what the episode does well. It's a really well choreographed and animated fight that conveys their conclusion well and doesn't shy away from just being incredibly violent. That said, you're all gonna have to let me know if either of them were out of character in this fight. I don't fucking know, because like, I want to say I like the punk-ass bitch retort, and I do, but for all I know, this is out of character for one or either of them, so I ain't gonna. Then there's the conclusion. I love the conclusion opening with the bookended line from Yuji's about him being the strongest, partially because both of them got a bookend, so you can imagine if Yuji'd won, they'd instead have opened the conclusion with, if there's two universal constants, it's life sucks and then you die, but some people die quicker than others. And yeah, I have no issues here. I've said enough that I don't know either character, so I don't want anyone to be shocked when I'm not appalled by the research when I didn't even know that Denji lacks a surname until the day before the episode dropped. But like, it checked out to me, at least structurally. Speed was just who's faster, skill was who's a better fighter, cut ability were whose abilities are superior, they explained well how they count each other, and the strength was just raw power output. There was no weird shenanigans, they didn't fit in who has better hacks resistances to decide who wins in skill. It all works out for me. That is, of course, I'm saying there's no internal shenanigans. Again, I don't particularly know or care about how valid the feats are or what was left out. And I like the track too, fuck ass internal combustion engine name aside. That's that then. I liked the episode, I thought it was good, I'm very excited for next time. My boy Subo Prime is here to be a silly billion. And that would be that. That would be the review of Yuji Denji. I am no longer sick, which means I can finally record this end bit and get the video out on YouTube. A little bit longer a wait than usual for the review, but I hope it was worth it. I'm really hoping this is a better review than my last one I did when I was sick. And that, you know, I get across my thoughts nice and clear, and you understand that I do like the episode. I'm also not alone, so there is someone else here, but he doesn't have a model, so he's just going to talk through me.
What's up? It's me, Gwen. But everyone thinks his name is the Blood Rock, so I might as well just...
that's really creepy.
Actually,
I do not like that.
No. Did I have to
when you actually look at it, it looks so fucked. Yeah, so...
I might read some of these.
Thank you.
Bonus edition that's happening...
First,
one time
thank you everyone scrolling by supporting me on Patreon. You guys are all legends. Love you a lot.
Yes.
And thank you. If you want to support me on Patreon, you'll get access to my Discord. You'll get access to reviews like this early, including some rankings, of which there should be some pretty big ones coming out soon. Yeah. There's also one particularly big one coming up, which is the... I'm not actually gonna tell you. I just realized I'm not gonna tell you. It's related to... Shut up. No, not that one. It's a video from last year, sequel to that one. It's finally coming. Hopefully this month. You will fucking find out. But you're also gonna make me say stupid stuff on the Discord, which we're gonna do now. Nah, wait. You look tough. I'm taking a photo.
Themes and Such Man versus the Street Slasher. Who would really win? Ken versus Barbie.
Every power scaler I meet only talks about... I actually don't know how that's pronounced. Only talks about Modulo Yuji. Fuck.
Everybody's going on about Modulo, and he's like that. What about my fart? What? What about my feet? What about my feet, Denji? Denji scaling. I can't read. Does know the case? What the fuck does this say? Does no one care about that? Chainsaw Man so deserved to win. Your scaling doesn't matter when Modulo Will washes you. Holy fucking crap.
What the hell was that? Oh, Deku voice. So, like, I guess I'll do mine and then you can do a bridge Deku after. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
You've not done the Deku voice
Oh,
in so long. It's really
never.
funny. If me and Chainsaw Man were to fight at full power, it might be a little difficult.
Would you lose?
Nah, I'd win. I know what you are. Hold on, what does that mean? Oh, you love making castration jokes. You did this one.
Domain expansion. Castration station.
I had domain expansions and Black Flash spam. I definitely have this in the bag.
Dude, I'm fucking Chainsaw Man. I don't fucking care. I'm gonna saw your limbs off and consume your blood. Could you please leave the toilet seat down? Guess once you are finished.
The ultimate weapon doesn't exist. The Doom! Oh, there's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with the photo. There's definitely no giant watermark. Don't worry. Make some chainsaw noises.
This chainsaw's really broken.
It's a fuck chainsaw. Denji like Homer in the... Oh, you can do this one. You love Homer.
Denji like Homer in the Simpsons movie. Okay. Stay back. That's not Homer. Stay back. I have domain expansion. Marge.
It's not even close. You do a better Peter Griffin.
Holy crap, Wallace.
Holy crap, Lord. I have domain expansion.
Alright, Chainsaw Man, let's do this. Can't, bro. What? Just a man now. Janice! Beams and such.
Hey, Peter, this guy giving you any trouble? Wait, I didn't even realize the next image. Hey, Peter, I done it for you.
Oh, Yuji was left after fighting Denji in their death.
Oh, another one about destroying testicles, your favorite.
Domain expansion, not destruction!
What do you mean all 10 episodes of Among Us dropped on Paramount Plus?
Lee from my favorite game, Mortal One Combat. Yippee! They fucking twist your neck and you the sword.
That was a random end card, wasn't it? I hope you all enjoyed.
I ain't doing any of these ever.
This is the shit I have to do at the end of every one of these. But yeah, that's all. Thank you guys, I guess. Tell me what you thought below about the episode, what you liked, what you didn't, and of course the character of Yuji and Denji. I've already got some very interesting responses about how in character Yuji was. Seems like there is some kind of disagreement about that among JJK fans. So yeah, take care. Have a good one.
Pouring one out for my favorite Mortal One Combat character, Lee May.
From Chainsaw Man.